history, achieved the rank of fourth largest economy in the world. California has been a top 10 global economy since the late 1970s, the famed Golden State period of California. And we started being a donor state not long after, in the early 1980s, when Ronald Reagan, former California governor, was the first president of America. And since that time, though, we've managed to maintain around 7th to 5th largest place in the world economy. And recently, for the first time ever, we have achieved the status of 4th largest economy in the world. Let's take a look at that and what that means. Well, here's the evidence. Also, the screen grab for this video also shows a reference to this. California poised to overtake Germany as the world's 4th largest economy. Contrary to popular belief, the Golden State has proven resilient, outperforming its U.S. and global peers. Now, something I'd like to point out here is there's a reason why people continue to do business here. Breed said in a City Hall interview with Bloomberg News earlier this month, it's because of the talent. Breed also said that she's hearing a lot of people are moving back to the Bay Area. A lot of the same people who decided to leave don't want to stay in areas where they don't feel there's a community culture. That's what San Francisco brings to the table. Schaaf, Libby Schaaf, former mayor of Oakland, who grew up in Oakland and completes her 2nd term in January, agrees. We value innovation, but we also value diversity and equity, she told Bloomberg News in an interview in her City Hall office earlier this month. It's nice to see those values are economically rewarded because California was very much lambasted during the Trump administration. So this is what the Californians are claiming is the reason why California continues to grow. It's the culture, it's the acceptance, and it's the talent that we have here that's brought by our culture. And I'll back that up. Elon Musk famously left California to move to Texas. But in an interview Mr. Musk did in the last few months, he had to admit that none of his friends from California followed him. That's right. Elon Musk had to admit that after he famously left California for Texas, he was shocked. But really, none of his friends and colleagues followed him. They all chose to stay in California, although he chose to leave. And he was shocked to find that out. That backs up what these mayors are saying. There's a culture of diversity and acceptance here that cannot be replicated or found elsewhere. I documented that in my book, California's Next Century 2.0 in 2012. We are the most diverse place in the world and other places in America, while purporting to be diversity friendly, just don't do it like we do. And people know that when they get out there. But what does this talk about California now, the world's 4th largest economy? Well, something I wanted to point out was in this article, they're going to say California had a 3-to-1 growth advantage on its top companies compared to Germany. They're going to say California did well in technology, hardware, media, and software sales, where they grew at incredible percents. Whereas if you look at Germany, its major markets only grew 43 and had declines of 2 and 7% during the same period. The truth is that California outperforms the U.S. and the rest of the world in many industries. Especially relevant is renewable energy. There's a chart showing California companies outperforming Germany from October 2019 all the way to now. You'll notice that they kind of follow along, and then right about here, 2022, 6/27, January, February, March, April, May, June. So around June, July, August, September. So around June, you start seeing this dip. Now, here's another one showing how California is poised to take over the German economy. And there's Germany falling around the early 2021 into 2022. California has proven resilient through the pandemic and now through a current period of elevated inflation. But I want to point 2 things out. Gavin Newsom said, let's see here, he's in this article. All this data continues to belie the dominant narrative and illusion of California's best days are behind us, Newsom said. As somebody who's grown up in California, feel pride in California's resilience, leadership, its entrepreneurship, and its formula for success that goes back over half a century, he said, conveying the state's conveyor belt for talent. All true. All of that's true. But there's two things the article doesn't admit. Number one, California has a horrible business climate for small and mid-sized businesses. So California, horrible business climate. Now, if you're a large business, you can get all the benefits you want. But if you are a small or mid-sized business, this is still a horrible climate for you. It has been, especially under Newsom. It got worse under, it was not this bad under Governor Brown. It got worse under Governor Newsom, especially under the pandemic. We've had a lot of people hemorrhaging, and this is still not a good climate for small and mid-sized businesses. They completely omit that in the article, and Gavin Newsom as governor has yet to admit that. He constantly talks about how they've raised a lot of tax revenue and the economy is doing well. Overall, that's true. But the little people are still suffering. And the business climate is still horrible for them. Not mentioned by the governor, not mentioned in that article. The other thing is that California did not become the fourth largest economy because of its own success. The reason that California became the fourth largest economy is that Germany decided to say that they don't need Russian oil or gas anymore, when in fact they did. That was a load of garbage that their government pushed to try to act tough for the Ukraine war, but investors saw through it. Simply put, the German economy is collapsing because they no longer have cheap energy, and their economy was based upon that. So they're not going to admit that, but California didn't become fourth because of something we did. We became fourth largest because Germany screwed up by becoming overdependent on Russian oil and gas, and then unilaterally saying, oh, we can just go off of it. It's like a crack fiend who decides they're just going to quit crack one day. You kind of have an addiction drawdown afterwards that screws you up. So Germany screwed up. That's why California is the fourth. And our business climate is still bad, but we did make fourth largest in the world. Wanted to make sure you got the news, but you also had it with some context that they are not printing. As a friend of mine said in the movement, if California was efficiently run, we would be the richest people on earth. I love California, and we do well to protect our culture, but we are horrible for business. Great for culture, great for our people, great for inclusion. I don't want to live anywhere else, but I'm also not dumb, and I have 2 eyeballs and a background in economics. Bad for small business. So that's the context. Fourth largest economy. We can do it. We can grow. We're moving up on the world stage. And we didn't do that because of America. We did that because of ourselves. Okay. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you soon.